think it's for every mom who is an entrepreneur. The mindset has to shift from like seeing motherhood and entrepreneurship as two competing priorities and instead start seeing them as something that are complementary parts of the same life.
Hey, I'm Kelly Yadley, and this is The Kelly Yadley Show. Here's a lie we've been sold that you have to pick the career or the kid, the big vision or the bedtime story. I'm calling it. That's not the deal. You can have both. I have built businesses for the last 16 years as a single mom, and you can do it without hustling yourself into the ground, but by choosing strategically every single day. This show is for the woman who wants the business, the brand, the freedom, and the family. All of it. So grab your coffee, your kid's juice box, whatever you got in your hand. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the show. Today's guest is someone who has built an incredible career while also building a beautiful life. And I think so many of you are going to relate to her story. Gunjan Vermani is a physiotherapist, entrepreneur, mom, mentor, and someone who's spent more than 20 years helping people heal and transform. She has a master's degree in physiotherapy with a specialization in neurological sciences, along with advanced training in pelvic floor therapy, concussion care, and vestibular rehabilitation. But what I love most about her story isn't just her credentials. It's how she's built her business and her family side by side. 10 years ago, Gunjan opened her first clinic while raising a toddler and an infant. Fast forward to today, and she co-owns 8 physiotherapy clinics in Ottawa, Canada. She refused to buy into the idea that she had to choose between being a great mom and building something meaningful, and her kids and her business have grown up together because of it. Now she's passionate about mentoring and the next generation of physiotherapist leaders and entrepreneurs, helping them step into their confidence, grow their impact, and create careers they're proud of. I'm excited for you to meet her. Please welcome Gunjan Vermani.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, thank you
Oh
so
my
much
gosh.
for having me, Kelly.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this.
Me too. I'm so excited to share everything that I've been through so that there's other women out there who are in the messy middle and they know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, it's exactly what we need to hear these days. You know, it's 2026, but you know what? We still need it every single day. It's such a good reminder of where we are and where we need to be. And having leaders like you is what just really makes the difference.
Thank you, Kelly. And
I'm
you are
so glad to.
yourself an inspiration to many.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So take me back to when you opened that first clinic. You had a toddler, an infant, and a brand new business. What did that season actually look like and feel like? And what was the belief you had to hold on to when there wasn't much evidence yet that it was all going to work out?
When I first opened the clinic, life was anything but calm or predictable.
Right.
I had a toddler, an infant, and a brand new business, which needed me every day.
Yeah.
And looking back, it was a season filled with equal parts uncertainty, excitement, and exhaustion.
Yeah.
And there were days when I would just finish treating patients and immediately switch into mom mode.
Right.
And there were nights like spent worrying about payroll, patient schedules, whether I was doing enough for my family or not.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever felt perfectly balanced, but I felt committed.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped in like carrying on and being persistent. And when what people see now is 8 clinics. But
Right.
what they don't see are like those late nights, those early mornings, and the moments of self doubt as a mother, as a business owner, and the countless times I questioned whether I could truly do both motherhood and entrepreneurship at the level I wanted to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I can completely relate with that. Yeah, those long days go, and then you say, have those long days and then switching to motherhood, but there's so many days where you're doing both. You're like back and forth, and you're, like something's happening and you're answering a call and back to the baby and answering this and going back to the, right? It was a
It was a nonstop thing. I can still remember there was a day I worked 12 to 8, and as soon as I finished my last patient, and it was a full day, so first full day since starting the clinic, and I was so proud and happy.
Mhm.
And I called my husband to tell that I had an amazing clinical day. And what I hear is, can you skip the charting for later and come home because the baby has been crying for 2 hours? She was
Oh,
still breastfed. So I came, I still remember, like I was crying the whole way back that, am I doing it right? Are my kids suffering
yeah.
because of this? And that day, it's still very fresh and clear in my mind. It's ingrained. And it was like, am I doing the right things? Am I supposed to be am I doing justice to being a mom
Yep.
to this little baby who's teething and needs her mom? And I'm here being proud of helping 22 patients today. And so it was an all time high. And the next second, it was an all time low
Right.
feeling at the same time.
I think that's so relatable. It's so relatable. Yeah. And you started as a clinician helping patients one on one. And today you're leading multiple clinics and developing these future leaders. So, what do you think was the hardest part of letting go of being the expert in that room and stepping into being the leader who empowers others?
So that evolution from a clinician to a leader was the hardest part, I would say. The hardest part wasn't opening the clinics. That transition was the hardest, that letting go of me being the service provider, me being the one who helps everyone, because that gives a sense of high, right?
Yeah.
So, as a clinician, my value came from what I personally knew and what I personally did with my patients. I could see the results of my work, and every day I could help how many patients. That was my kind of like metric, that I helped 22 patients achieve what they wanted to achieve, whether it was pain relief or a movement they couldn't do. Now they're able to lift their grandkids. Now somebody's able to do gardening. So that was my motivation. But then eventually, when I came into this leadership role, it was an entirely different ballgame, and it required a completely different mindset. So I had to stop measuring my impact by how many people I could help directly to start measuring it by how many people I could help through others. So my whole focus became dump everything I know into some systems that my clinicians could follow and help so many more patients. So now, today, we see like at least 500 patients every single day.
Oh
And
my
I could have
gosh.
never done that.
Oh, never by yourself. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the impact. Like, I knew that it was needed, but it was really hard to let go
Yeah.
because of how it feels when you give your patient what they really need.
Yeah.
And my biggest lesson was learning that leadership is not just about being the smartest person in the room. It's about creating an environment where others can grow into their own full potential, and putting everything I know into them, plus having them evolve into their full potential. That was what created wonders for the entire community of Ottawa, I would say.
Yeah, our coach, that's how we know each other, is through Dan Martell. And our coach says build a business big enough so the visions of your employees, of your team can fit inside of that business. And so I hear that from you. I hear that that's what you're doing. And so how does that balance with you not being with the patients and having that one-to-one effect of watching them pick up their grandchildren versus helping an employee really grow their vision for their life? How does that compare and contrast inside of you as a leader?
As a clinician, it was very rewarding. We get a lot of blessings. But those same patients, when I walk around the clinics now, they're like, you have created monsters. These are like real good clinicians who have like taken everything you knew, plus your soft skills, plus your leadership skills, and they're like multiple times more efficient now because they're all spread out throughout the city of Ottawa. And we have 17 clinicians. I could have never done. So the impact is multiple fold now. So that is actually one of the most rewarding parts of my work now, is seeing those leaders emerge from within our organization into people who are like doing things that I could have never accomplished myself alone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think some of the people that might be listening are women that are building a career that maybe they're solopreneurs or they have the dream of having a team like we do. And what would you say to them about going from being working with the clients versus having a team? Like what where was that switch for you? Where would you say that the magic was in that transition for you over the years, or maybe in those moments to make that change in yourself to move forward?
I think it's about building a business that fits your life versus building a business that builds more people. And the impact is multiple fold. If you work alone, you can only help so many people. But working through people, there is no limits.
Yeah.
Now we could go Canada wide, worldwide, and if we keep on training people on our systems, and we take pride in like providing physiotherapy services in all the three components of physio, which is manual skills. So we're all very hands-on people. And then the technology, which is investing in the latest technology, and then the exercise, so evidence-based exercise, which are best suited for that person, and not just exercises for like one body part. How could we combine it to something more fun, a whole body thing for them? So if we take these principles and spread out throughout the world, it's going to be a huge success because it can help so many, like millions of people. As I was saying, like every single day we're helping at least 500 people.
That's wild. 500 people. Gunjan, that's amazing. How does that
Thank
feel
you.
inside?
It's very satisfying. It's
Yeah.
like feeling like I'm going towards my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you see down the road? Like what is that? Is it that worldwide? Is it that going into other countries? Is it that building for you? Is that something that you're
We are,
exploring or you're
yes,
yeah.
yes, for sure. We're looking into expanding Canada wide for now.
Yeah.
Like we're looking into Toronto and all. And once that's success, we're going to go and spread out more
I can't wait
nationwide
to
and
see
then
that. I can't wait.
internationally.
That's exciting. That's good stuff. We need you. We need you everywhere.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So after building these 8 clinic and raising children along the way and now mentoring the next generation of leaders, what do you hope the women watching your journey learn from the way that you've built your life and not just your business?
I actually would like women who are watching this to actually see that they don't have to compromise from their passion or motherhood, and all that pressure that we women put on ourselves that we have to choose. And most often the choice is either our ambition or family. And it's ingrained in us that for success, you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
But I want them all to see that it can be successful, like your life can be successful while being close to the family. You don't have to pick and choose, you don't have to sacrifice your family. So that was a pressure I felt too for a long time. And I wondered whether growing my business is going to take something away from is taking me away from my family and my kids.
Yeah.
But over the time, I realized this, that my children, they were not watching me choose between them and my business. They were actually watching me build something meaningful while loving them deeply. The notion around me being present around my kids eventually evolved. It was more quality time over quantity time.
Yeah.
If I was just sitting there and they're playing video games, I'm not being a good mom there. So what I did is, mommy has this to this time with you. Let's plan our day in such a way that we maximize the use of this time. So being actually present for your kids is different from like being physically present. And
Yeah.
I'm on my mobile phone scrolling and they are on their own screens.
Yeah.
It's very different. And we
Yeah.
often confuse that as being present.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for me, Yes, my business and my children, they both grew together. But as my clinics expanded, my children were also learning the resilience, the adaptability, how it looks like to pursue a vision,
Yeah.
because they had everything firsthand. They experienced our challenges firsthand. They experienced our setbacks firsthand.
Yeah.
They experienced our persistence firsthand.
Yeah.
So they saw how we juggled through everything and still didn't put them on the back burner.
Yep.
They were still our priority, but it was some days, it's like a tug of war. Some
Yeah.
days business needed more and kids understood, and some days family needed more. Systems were put in place where the business was okay understanding for that too.
Yeah. This is so similar to my story watching my daughter. Like I really felt like there was like this, conflict where you had to choose, and I was, kept being told I had to choose. And it's like, no, once you get motherhood and entrepreneurship lined up, they go together. Like you are teaching your children courage and to take up space, and their voice needs to be heard, and their visions and passions are all stuff that worth working for. So it sounds very much like my story with my daughter. And
100%.
and I will say also the first thing that one of the things that comes to mind is when they're watching. It was like a filter for me to learn how to deal with, you know, those conversations in a way that my daughter would be proud of when she's watching. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a different filter. Like all of a sudden, it's almost like having a boss or somebody like screening your calls. You're talking to a client who's really pissed off, and you're just like, your daughter's watching, or, your children are watching. You're just like, oh my gosh, here we
Keep them
go.
calm.
Yeah. This is mom being a boss and calm and respectful to everybody involved. Yeah. You get off the call and you're like, oh my gosh. And your children are in the car with you. They're
Exactly.
right alongside with you, and they conflict resolution and problem solving skills. I mean, it's just watching my daughter be an adult now and going through all of this stuff. I'm just so proud. But I'm like, how could she have not?
Exactly. Exactly. I think it's for every mom who is an entrepreneur. The mindset has to shift from like seeing motherhood and entrepreneurship as two competing priorities, and instead start seeing them as something that are complementary parts of the same life,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And it's a tricky balance, because when my daughter was younger, I would get frustrated. Like I'd want her to be quiet. Like, I'm dealing with this. And my mom brain. And so I had to figure out how to quiet that it has to be perfect in the moment, with this is me figuring it out as a woman with being a boss and a mom at the same time. I can do that. And I just had to balance all of that stress inside of me that it felt a little chaotic. And it still does sometimes. I hear that just on Saturday, I was talking to a friend who said that, he found himself at some of his worst moments really yelling at his kids to be quiet during calls. And I could so relate.
Yeah.
I remember those times. And now I don't feel like I have to do that. I feel like I can balance that more. And, it's different when they're small children versus preteens and teenagers and young adults. It is different. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about getting older and knowing yourself, is being able to have words and use those filters to ask for what you need,
Yeah,
and be okay with it.
exactly. And I think being a mom is an added advantage.
It
Being a
is.
mother, it's made me
Absolutely.
a better leader,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say going through those COVID years, because I know you've had your business long enough to go through those COVID years, has really changed, like the Zoom call moments and the dog in the background. And like there's a lot of things that are a little bit more socially acceptable now. And
For
so
sure.
that kind of helped with a little bit of that. Did you experience that with your businesses as well?
For us being in healthcare, COVID was a challenge on the business because we could only see one patient at a time.
Yeah.
But it opened up a whole new world of virtual care.
Yes.
But being hands-on clinicians, we were like feeling like, I didn't do much here.
Yeah.
But it helped our patients a lot because now they were independent.
Right.
All they had to do is like watch us do it once and save that recording and do it as many times as they needed. So I think it helped the patients a lot in that sense. But overall impact on like physical business was huge
Yeah.
at the time. But we recovered, we survived,
It
and we're
was
so
it was
happy.
the time of the pivot. It's like every other day you're like reinventing yourself and like, oh, yes. Pivot. That the word of the whole, yeah, that whole year and year or two, like 2020 and 2021, like getting that going. So, oh my goodness. So, you have the putting together the natural arc of your life with the dream that you have and the building that you've done of evolution as a woman, a mom, and the legacy that you're leaving your children. It's just so much of what you've done is just it's impressive. Gunjan, it's
Thank you.
impressive, and it matches so much of what I want my people and these listeners to hear. You know, to that we can be, you know, badass businesswomen and moms, like all of that together. You don't have to choose. There's a way around it, and being the leader of leaders is what really, really inspires me when I see you doing your best work like that, like having the container where people can build their lives inside of while they're working for you is, I mean, so just inspiring to me. I love seeing that.
Thank you, Kelly. As you said, Dan always teaches us have a dream big enough to fit all your leaders' dreams in it, all your
Yeah.
team's dream in it. So that's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been so, so fun. Exactly what I thought it would be and more. And I look forward to hearing more about your stories and your adventures as you go and getting to know you more personally, especially since we're going to be together soon in Canada. And I get to know you more as a person and a friend. It's just been a
Perfect.
pleasure.
I'm so excited to see
Me too.
you.
I know. So exciting. Well, good. Well, have a great day and we'll be in touch. See you later. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Kelly. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
That's it for this week. If something in this episode hit, do me a favor. Send it to one woman in your life who needs to hear it. That's how this community grows, one honest conversation at a time. Follow the show, leave a review, and come find me on Instagram. I read everything. Remember, strong doesn't mean solo. I'll see you next week.